Hello there and welcome. In this episode, we're going to continue working on the trivia series. So in the previous episode, we added a timer into the game, and this is basically the last thing that we're going to do in regard to the actual minigame. Now we want to start working on the different screens. So we have our main menu screen, we have our game screen, but we still don't have our game over screen, we don't have the options or the high score. So we need to take care of all of these screens. So we want to deal with the game over screen. This will basically be the screen that will be opened when the game is over. And then inside of this screen, this scene, we are going to be able to start a new game or go back to the main menu. From this scene, we will also set the data into the online database. So when the player reached the high score, it's going to save the score in the database, and then eventually we're going to display it on the leaderboards. So we're going to open our game over scene, and over here we can see that everything is empty. We're going to create a canvas, so UI canvas, and we're going to get this event system. This is important. Inside, we're going to make sure that the canvas is the same as the others. We're going to set it to scale with screen size, and we're going to set it to portrait. So these are the values, and we're going to set it to 0.5. We also want to make sure that it's pixel perfect, and this should be the same settings for all the canvases in your game. Now for the UI, we're not going to spend time on it. I'm going to provide you with the UI that I created. Obviously for your game, you can use your own UI. So you're going to find a link in the description, and then you're going to download a Unity asset pack, and you're simply going to drag it into your project. And inside, you're simply going to have one prefab. So you're going to import it. And this is the prefab, the game over background, and you're going to drag it to be a child of the canvas. So you're simply going to drag it to be a child of the canvas, and now we can see it over here. It looks a bit weird because we need to center it. So you're simply going to click over here, reset, and now it's going to look weird. So we need to expand it as well. Click on Alt over here, and now everything will look as it should. And this was the UI that I created. Over here, we have a button to start a new game, and over here we have a button to go back to the main menu. And in the middle, we're going to display the score that the player got at the end of this game. So this is the UI that we're going to use. And the only thing that we need to do is basically to connect both of these buttons so they will actually trigger the new scenes. And we also want to update the UI over here, this score text. And we also want to eventually send data from this screen to the database. Obviously, when you're going to import this, if you did not download the asset pack with these buttons, it's going to look differently. So make sure that you use this asset pack, or of course you can use your own. Let's just unpack this from being a prefab. And these are the sprites that we're using. Now we want to create some kind of manager that will manage this entire scene. So we're going to create a new empty object, and we're going to name it Game Over Manager, and we're going to create a script with the same name. Inside, we're going to have references to both of these buttons, and for this text UI, then we're going to add a start method, and inside we're going to add on-click listeners for both of these buttons. So when we click on these buttons, it's going to call these methods respectively. So now let's create these methods. And the other thing that we want to do is to actually set the score on the UI. So score UI text. And it's going to show us something like score. And of course, you can make it level, or maybe, of course, for us, it's going to be level because we're using level. So level. and this will be the level that we reached at the end of this game. Of course, as I told you before, in our game, you can use it as a level or a score or whatever you want. Now we also need to get the score, so we're going to get it over here in score. And we're going to use our current score for this. So now we're going to simply display the score and we're going to convert it into a string. So this is what we do over here. And now when we click on these buttons, it's going to either start a new game or go back to the main menu, and it's going to display the level when we start the screen. Now we're going to drag a reference to this text UI. So we're going to click on the Game Over Manager, add a reference to the Score UI over here, and to both of these buttons, again, New Game button and Main Menu button. Now we can save this scene, go back to the main menu scene, and we can start the game and see that it actually works. So we start the game and we answer this correctly and then also answer this correctly, and we have 2 points or level 2 or again whatever you want to call it. Now let's just lose on purpose. And the game was over and we can see our score. And now we can start a new game or we can go back to the main menu. So this is working. And of course, we still don't send the score to the database, but we're going to deal with this in the next episode. So that's all for this episode. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, please leave a like, and I'll see you in the next episode.